Have you ever felt the sting of disrespect? That sudden jolt, the tightening in your chest, the rush of indignation that threatens to consume you? It's a universal experience, a moment when our sense of self feels diminished, our boundaries breached. In a world brimming with interactions, moments of perceived disrespect are inevitable. They can come from a careless word, a dismissive gesture, or an outright challenge to our worth. But what if the true burden of disrespect isn't in the act itself but in our reaction to it? What if the path to liberation from its grip lies not in fighting back, but in understanding and transforming our inner landscape? This is the profound inquiry we embark upon. Today, drawing from ancient wisdom that transcends time and culture, we will explore how the teachings of Buddhism, particularly the serene and insightful principles of Zen, offer a radical new perspective on handling disrespect, not by confronting it head-on, but by cultivating an unshakable inner peace that renders external slights powerless. Prepare to discover a transformative approach that will not only change how you react to disrespect but how you experience the world. The illusion of the affront, deconstructing ego's grip. Disrespect, at its core, is often a perceived attack on our ego. We construct an image of ourselves, a carefully curated persona, and when someone's words or actions seem to challenge that image, our ego screams in protest. This initial reaction, this visceral surge of anger or hurt, is not an inherent truth but a conditioned response. It stems from a deep-seated attachment to how we believe we should be seen, how we deserve to be treated. The Buddhist path, particularly the Zen tradition, invites us to look beyond this superficial layer of self and recognize the impermanence and illusory nature of the ego. It's not about denying our individuality or our worth, but about understanding that our true essence is far more expansive and resilient than the fragile construct of ego. When we are deeply attached to our self-image, every slight becomes a personal assault, every criticism a direct hit. We become like a ship tossed by every wave, our stability dependent on the calm of external waters. But what if we could detach from this constant need for external validation? What if we could view these perceived affronts not as attacks on our core being, or as mere ripples on the surface of a vast ocean? This is the essence of non-attachment. It's not indifference, nor is it a passive acceptance of mistreatment. Instead, it's a profound understanding that our inner peace is not contingent upon the actions or opinions of others. It's about recognizing that the power we give to external events to dictate our emotional state is a choice, and we have the power to reclaim that choice. Imagine a mirror. When someone throws mud at it, the mud sticks to the surface, but the mirror itself remains untainted. Similarly, when disrespect is hurled our way, it may momentarily cloud our perception, but our true self, our inner wisdom, remains untouched. The challenge lies in not identifying with the mud and not allowing it to define us. This requires a conscious effort to observe our reactions without judgment, to acknowledge the pain or anger without allowing it to take root and fester. It's a practice of mindfulness, of being present with our emotions, without being consumed by them. By deconstructing the ego's grip, we begin to dismantle the very foundation upon which disrespect can build its power. We move from a reactive state to a responsive one, choosing our internal landscape rather than being dictated by external forces. This is the first crucial step in transforming disrespect from a source of suffering into an opportunity for profound self-discovery and inner growth. A journey from victimhood to empowerment, from external dependence to internal freedom. The illusion of the affront dissolves when we realize that the only true power it holds is the power we grant it through our attachment to a fleeting self-image. This realization is not a weakness, but a profound strength, a liberation from the endless cycle of reaction and suffering. It allows us to stand firm, unyielding, not because we are impervious to pain, but because we understand its transient nature and refuse to let it define our enduring spirit. The path of non-attachment is a radical act of self-love, a commitment to protecting our inner sanctuary from the storms of external judgment and perceived slights. It is the foundation upon which true resilience is built, allowing us to navigate the complexities of human interaction with grace, wisdom, and an unshakable sense of inner peace. The practice of mindful observation, witnessing, without judgment. Once we begin to understand the ego's role in our reaction to disrespect, the next crucial step is to cultivate the practice of mindful observation. This isn't about intellectual understanding alone. It's about actively engaging with our internal experience as it unfolds. When a disrespectful comment or action occurs, our immediate impulse is often to react, to defend, to retaliate, or to withdraw into a shell of hurt. Mindful observation, however, invites us to pause. It asks us to become the witness to our own internal drama rather than being swept away by it. Imagine sitting by a river watching the water flow. You don't try to stop the river, nor do you jump in and become part of the current. You simply observe. In the same way, when feelings of anger, resentment, or sadness arise in response to disrespect, we learn to observe them without judgment. We acknowledge their presence. There is anger arising. There is a feeling of hurt. We don't suppress these emotions, for suppression only pushes them deeper, allowing them to fester and resurface later with greater intensity. Nor do we indulge them, allowing them to dictate our actions and perpetuate a cycle of negativity. Instead, we simply witness. This act of witnessing creates a vital space between the stimulus, the disrespectful act, and our response. In that space, we gain the freedom to choose. We are no longer slaves to our automatic reactions. This practice is deeply rooted in Zen Buddhism, where meditation is not just a technique for relaxation but a rigorous training in present moment awareness. Through consistent practice, we learn to observe our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations without identifying with them. We realize that thoughts are just thoughts, emotions are just emotions, and they are all transient, like clouds passing across the sky. They do not define us. When we can observe our anger without becoming angry, or our hurt without becoming consumed by hurt, we begin to dismantle the power that disrespect holds over us. This doesn't mean we become emotionless automatons. On the contrary, it allows us to experience our emotions more fully, but with a newfound sense of detachment and clarity. We can feel the pain, acknowledge the injustice, but we are not trapped by it. We can then choose a response that aligns with our deeper values, rather than being driven by reactive impulses. This practice also extends to observing the person who is being disrespectful. Often, their actions stem from their own pain, ignorance, or unresolved issues. While this doesn't excuse their behavior, understanding its potential roots can foster a sense of empathy, making it easier to detach from the personal affront. When we see their actions as a reflection of their own suffering, rather than a direct attack on us, the sting of disrespect lessens considerably. Mindful observation is a continuous practice, not a one-time achievement. There will be moments when we fall back into old patterns, when the ego reasserts its dominance. But each time we return to the practice, each time we choose to witness rather than react, we strengthen our capacity for inner peace and resilience. It is through this consistent, gentle, and non-judgmental observation that we begin to truly liberate ourselves from the unseen burden of disrespect, transforming it into an opportunity for profound self-awareness and spiritual growth. This mindful approach is the key to unlocking the inner alchemy that transmutes the lead of perceived insult into the gold of wisdom and equanimity. It is the path to becoming the calm center in the midst of any storm, a beacon of peace in a world often fraught with discord. The ability to witness without judgment is not merely a skill, it is a profound way of being that redefines our relationship with ourselves and the world around us. It is the quiet revolution that begins within, and its ripples extend far beyond our individual experience, contributing to a more compassionate and understanding collective consciousness. This is the true power of mindful observation. It transforms not just our reactions but our very reality. It allows us to navigate the complexities of human interaction with an unshakable inner calm, knowing that our peace is not dependent on the actions of others, but on the unwavering strength of our own mindful presence. This is the essence of true freedom. The gift of impermanence, letting go of the need for apology. In our quest to handle disrespect, we often become fixated on the idea of an apology. We believe that an apology from the person who wronged us is the key to our own healing, the necessary closure that will allow us to move on. However, this attachment to an apology, this dependence on an external act of contrition, is another form of bondage. It keeps us tethered to the past, our emotional well-being held hostage by someone else's willingness or ability to acknowledge their wrongdoing. The Buddhist teaching of impermanence, or anicca, offers a profound liberation from this self-imposed prison. Impermanence is the fundamental truth that all things are in a constant state of flux. Nothing is permanent, not our thoughts, not our emotions, not even the very fabric of our reality. When we truly internalize this concept, we begin to see the futility of clinging to past hurts and the need for apologies. The disrespectful act, as painful as it may have been, was a fleeting moment in time. By replaying it in our minds, by demanding an apology, we are giving it a permanence it does not inherently possess. We are choosing to keep the wound fresh, to relive the pain over and over again. Letting go of the need for an apology is not about condoning the disrespectful behavior. It is not about saying that what happened was okay. It is about recognizing that our own peace of mind is far too precious to be dependent on someone else's actions. It is an act of radical self-compassion, a decision to release ourselves from the chains of resentment. This is not an easy practice. The desire for justice, for acknowledgement, is deeply ingrained in our human psyche. But true justice from a Buddhist perspective is not about external retribution but about restoring our own inner balance. When we let go of the need for an apology, we are not letting the other person off the hook. We are letting ourselves off the hook. We are freeing ourselves from the emotional turmoil that comes with holding onto anger and resentment. This is a powerful act of self-liberation. It allows us to reclaim our emotional sovereignty, to find closure within ourselves rather than seeking it from an external source that may never provide it. The practice of letting go is a continuous process. It requires a conscious and repeated effort to release the grip of the past. It involves acknowledging the pain, allowing ourselves to feel it fully, and then making the conscious choice to let it go. This can be facilitated through practices like meditation, where we can observe our attachment to the past without judgment, and through loving-kindness meditation, where we can cultivate a sense of compassion for ourselves and even for the person who disrespected us. When we can genuinely wish their well-being, not because they deserve it, but because we deserve to be free from the poison of hatred, we have truly begun to master the art of letting go. The gift of impermanence is the understanding that just as the storm clouds pass, so too will the pain of disrespect. By not clinging to it, by not demanding an apology as a prerequisite for our own healing, we allow the natural process of impermanence to do its work. We open ourselves up to the present moment, to the possibility of new experiences, and to the profound peace that comes from releasing the burdens of the past. This is the essence of true forgiveness, a forgiveness that is not for the other person but for ourselves. It is the ultimate act of self-love, the key to unlocking a life of emotional freedom and resilience. It is the realization that our inner peace is not a destination to be reached, but a path to be walked, a path that begins with the courageous act of letting go. This is the transformative power of embracing impermanence, a power that can turn the deepest wounds into sources of profound wisdom and strength. It is the understanding that our true nature is not defined by the scars of the past, but by our capacity to heal, to grow, and to embrace the ever-changing flow of life with an open and compassionate heart. The mirror of compassion, seeing beyond the surface. When faced with disrespect, our natural inclination is often to retaliate, to defend, or to withdraw. However, the Buddhist path offers a radical alternative: compassion. This isn't a naive or passive acceptance of ill treatment, but a profound understanding that the person inflicting disrespect is often operating from a place of their own suffering, ignorance, or unresolved pain. They are, in essence, holding up a mirror to their own internal turmoil. When we can see beyond the surface of their hurtful words or actions, and recognize the underlying pain that drives them, our own reaction begins to shift. This is not to excuse their behavior, but to understand it, and in that understanding, to find a path to liberation from our own suffering. Compassion in this context is not pity. It is a deep empathy that acknowledges the shared human experience of struggle and imperfection. It recognizes that just as we experience pain, so too do others. And often, those who inflict pain are themselves in pain. This perspective is beautifully articulated in the Buddhist concept of metta, or loving kindness. It is the cultivation of a benevolent attitude towards all beings, including those who may seem to be our adversaries. This doesn't mean we condone their actions, but that we wish them freedom from suffering, just as we wish it for ourselves. When we cultivate compassion, we break the cycle of reactivity. Instead of responding to anger with anger or to hatred with hatred, we choose a different path. We choose to respond with understanding, with a desire for their well-being, even if that well-being is currently obscured by their own inner demons. This act of compassion is not for them alone. It is profoundly liberating for us. Holding on to anger and resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Compassion, on the other hand, is an antidote, a balm that soothes our own agitated mind. It allows us to step out of the drama of personal offense and into a larger, more expansive view of human interconnectedness. Imagine a child throwing a tantrum. While their behavior may be disruptive and frustrating, we understand that it often stems from unmet needs, from a lack of ability to regulate their emotions. We don't take it personally, instead respond with patience and a desire to help them find calm. In a similar vein, when an adult acts disrespectfully, they may be exhibiting a form of emotional immaturity, a lack of self-awareness, or a deep-seated insecurity. While their actions have consequences, our compassionate understanding can prevent us from becoming entangled in their negativity. This doesn't mean we allow ourselves to be continuously disrespected. Setting boundaries is an act of self-compassion, a way of protecting our own well-being. But even when setting boundaries, we can do so from a place of calm strength rather than reactive anger. The mirror of compassion allows us to see the humanity in the other, even when their actions are inhumane. It reminds us that beneath the layers of ego, conditioning, and suffering, there is a shared essence, a fundamental desire for happiness and freedom from pain. By cultivating this compassionate perspective, we transform our relationship with disrespect. It ceases to be a personal attack and becomes an opportunity to practice empathy, to deepen our understanding of the human condition, and to strengthen our own capacity for loving kindness. This is a powerful act of inner alchemy, turning the bitter taste of disrespect into the sweet nectar of compassion, and in doing so liberating ourselves from the endless cycle of suffering and reactivity. It is a testament to the profound wisdom of the Buddhist path, which teaches us that true strength lies not in dominance but in the boundless capacity of the heart to embrace all beings with understanding and love. This compassionate stance is not a sign of weakness, but the ultimate expression of inner power, allowing us to navigate the complexities of life with an open heart and an unshakable sense of peace. The practice of equanimity, cultivating unshakable inner peace. Equanimity is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice and a powerful antidote to the turmoil caused by disrespect. It is not indifference or apathy but a profound state of inner balance and mental calmness, regardless of external circumstances. When we cultivate equanimity, we develop the capacity to remain undisturbed by the ups and downs of life, including the sting of perceived disrespect. Is the ability to view all experiences, pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, with an even mind, recognizing their transient nature and refusing to be swayed by them. Imagine a majestic mountain. It stands firm and unmoving whether the sun shines brightly, the rain pours down, or the winds howl. It does not react to the weather, it simply is. Similarly, the practice of equanimity allows us to become like that mountain, rooted in our inner peace, unperturbed by the storms of external judgment or criticism. When disrespect arises, our natural tendency is to react with aversion, to push it away, to fight against it. This aversion, however, only amplifies our suffering. Equanimity invites us to meet the experience with an open heart and a calm mind, acknowledging its presence, without allowing it to disrupt our inner equilibrium. This doesn't mean we don't feel the initial pang of hurt or anger. It means we don't cling to it, we don't allow it to define our state of being. We observe it, understand its impermanence, and let it pass. The cultivation of equanimity is deeply intertwined with the understanding of non-attachment and impermanence. When we realize that our happiness is not dependent on external validation or the absence of disrespect, and that all experiences are fleeting, we naturally develop a more balanced perspective. We cease to be tossed about by the whims of others' opinions or actions. This practice is particularly challenging in the face of disrespect because it often triggers our deepest insecurities and fears. However, it is precisely in these moments that the practice of equanimity becomes most vital. By consciously choosing to remain calm and centered, we reclaim our power. We deny the disrespectful act the satisfaction of having disturbed our peace. This is not a passive surrender, but an active choice to protect our inner sanctuary. Equanimity also extends to our relationship with ourselves. We often disrespect ourselves through self-criticism, self-doubt, and negative self-talk. Cultivating equanimity means treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer to a dear friend. Means accepting our imperfections, acknowledging our struggles, and recognizing our inherent worth, regardless of external achievements or failures. When we are at peace with ourselves, the opinions of others lose their sting. The practice of equanimity is a continuous journey, a gradual refinement of our inner landscape. It requires patience, persistence, and a deep commitment to our own well-being. Through meditation, mindfulness, and conscious reflection, we can gradually strengthen our capacity for equanimity, allowing us to navigate the complexities of life with grace, wisdom, and an unshakable sense of inner peace. This unshakable inner peace is the ultimate triumph over disrespect. It is the realization that our true power lies not in controlling external circumstances but in mastering our internal response. It is the freedom that comes from knowing that no matter what comes our way, we have the capacity to remain centered, calm, and whole. This is the profound gift of equanimity, a gift that transforms not only how we handle disrespect but how we live our entire lives, allowing us to move through the world with a quiet confidence and an enduring sense of well-being. It is the ultimate expression of inner freedom, a state where external chaos cannot disturb the profound stillness within. This is the culmination of the inner alchemy, where the lead of suffering is transmuted into the gold of liberation, and we become masters of our own emotional destiny. Forgiveness as self-liberation, breaking the chains of resentment. When we experience disrespect, one of the most insidious traps we can fall into is holding on to resentment. This emotional burden, often fueled by a desire for justice or retribution, can consume us, poisoning our thoughts and actions. The Buddhist teaching on forgiveness offers a radical departure from this cycle of suffering. It posits that forgiveness is not primarily for the benefit of the person who wronged us, but for our own liberation. It is an act of profound self-compassion, a conscious decision to release ourselves from the toxic grip of anger, bitterness, and the desire for revenge. Imagine carrying a heavy, jagged stone in your hand. Every step you take, it digs deeper into your palm, causing pain and discomfort. This stone is resentment. You might believe that by holding on to it, you are somehow punishing the person who hurt you. But in reality, the only person suffering is you. Forgiveness is the act of dropping that stone. It doesn't mean condoning the behavior, forgetting the hurt, or reconciling with the offender. Simply means releasing the emotional charge that binds you to the past. This is a challenging practice, especially when the disrespect feels deeply personal or unjust. Our ego often resists, arguing that forgiveness is a sign of weakness, that it lets the other person off the hook. But true forgiveness is an act of immense strength, a declaration that our inner peace is more valuable than clinging to past grievances. It is a recognition that the past cannot be changed, but our relationship to it can be transformed. The Buddha taught that clinging to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Resentment is a self-inflicted wound, a continuous reenactment of the original pain. By choosing to forgive, we are not absolving the other person of their actions, but rather freeing ourselves from the emotional prison we have built around the event. This process of self-liberation through forgiveness is not a single event but a gradual unfolding. It may involve acknowledging the pain, grieving the loss, and then consciously choosing to release the desire for retribution. It often requires deep introspection and a willingness to confront our own attachments to suffering. Practices like meditation and mindfulness can be invaluable here, allowing us to observe the arising of resentful thoughts and emotions without judgment and gently guiding our minds back to a state of peace. Furthermore, understanding the concept of karma can aid in this process. While not a punitive system, karma suggests that every action has consequences. The person who acted disrespectfully will, in their own time and in their own way, experience the repercussions of their actions. This understanding can alleviate our need to be the arbiter of justice, allowing us to trust in the natural order of cause and effect. Ultimately, forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. It is the key that unlocks the door to our own emotional freedom, allowing us to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. It is the profound realization that our well-being is not dependent on the actions of others, but on our own capacity for compassion and release. By breaking the chains of resentment, We reclaim our power, transforming the experience of disrespect from a source of ongoing suffering into an opportunity for profound healing and spiritual growth. This is the true meaning of self-liberation, a journey from victimhood to empowerment, from bitterness to boundless peace. It is a testament to the transformative power of the human spirit, capable of finding light even in the darkest corners of perceived injustice. The act of forgiveness, therefore, is not a passive surrender, but a courageous step towards reclaiming our inner sovereignty and living a life unburdened by the echoes of past hurts. It is the ultimate act of self-care, a profound commitment to our own well-being above all else. The art of letting go, releasing the past to embrace the present. The practice of forgiveness is intricately linked to the art of letting go. While forgiveness is the conscious decision to release resentment, letting go is the ongoing process of detaching from the past and embracing the present moment. When we are disrespected, our minds often become a battleground of replayed conversations, imagined comebacks and lingering hurt. We become trapped in a mental loop, reliving the painful experience over and over again. This attachment to the past not only prevents us from healing but also robs us of the richness of the present moment. The Buddhist teaching, letting go, is not about forgetting what happened or suppressing our emotions. It is about acknowledging the past without allowing it to define our present reality. It is the understanding that clinging to past hurts is like trying to sail a ship with the anchor still down. No matter how much we adjust the sails, we will remain stuck. Letting go is the act of raising that anchor, of freeing ourselves to navigate the open waters of the present. This is a practice that requires both intention and skill. It begins with the recognition that our thoughts are not facts. Just because we have a thought about the past, it doesn't mean we have to believe it or engage with it. Through mindfulness, we can learn to observe our thoughts as they arise, like clouds passing in the sky, without getting caught up in their stories. This creates a space between our awareness and our thoughts, a space where we can choose to let go. One powerful technique for letting go is to focus on the breath. The breath is always in the present moment. When we find our minds wandering to the past, we can gently guide our attention back to the sensation of the breath entering and leaving the body. This simple act can be a powerful anchor to the present, a way of interrupting the cycle of rumination. Another helpful practice is to cultivate gratitude. When we are focused on what we are grateful for in the present moment, it becomes more difficult to dwell on past hurts. Gratitude shifts our perspective from what is lacking to what is abundant, from what has been lost to what is still present. It is a powerful antidote to the poison of negativity. Letting go is also about accepting that we cannot control the past. We cannot change what has happened. The only thing we can control is our response to it in the present moment. This acceptance is not a sign of weakness, but a profound act of wisdom. It is the recognition that our energy is better spent on creating a positive present and future than on fighting a battle that has already been lost. The art of letting go is a continuous practice, a daily commitment to choosing the present over the past. There will be times when we find ourselves slipping back into old patterns, when the ghosts of the past re-emerge. These moments, we can treat ourselves with kindness and compassion, gently guiding ourselves back to the present moment. By mastering the art of letting go, we transform our relationship with disrespect. It no longer has the power to hold us captive. We become free to live our lives with a sense of openness, curiosity, and joy, unburdened by the weight of the past. This is the essence of true freedom, a freedom that is not dependent on external circumstances, but on our own ability to release what no longer serves us. It is the key to unlocking a life of profound peace, resilience, and boundless possibility. It is the understanding that the present moment is the only moment we truly have, and it is a gift to be cherished, not squandered on the shadows of the past. The emptiness of blame, reclaiming your inner power. When we are disrespected, a common and often immediate reaction is to assign blame. We point fingers either at the person who offended us or sometimes even at ourselves. This act of blaming, while seemingly offering a sense of control or justification, is ultimately an empty pursuit. It traps us in a cycle of victimhood, preventing us from reclaiming our inner power and moving forward. The Buddhist perspective on blame is rooted in the understanding of interconnectedness and the impermanence of all phenomena. Blame, in essence, is an attempt to fix responsibility for a transient event onto a static entity. However, actions arise from a complex web of causes and conditions, and to isolate one individual as the sole source of a problem often oversimplifies a much larger picture. When we blame others, we effectively hand over our power to them. We make our emotional well-being contingent on their actions, their apologies, or their change in behavior. This externalizes our locus of control, leaving us feeling helpless and at the mercy of others. True empowerment comes from recognizing that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we always have control over our response. Reclaiming our inner power means shifting our focus from who is to blame to what we can do to cultivate our own peace and well-being. It means understanding that the disrespectful act, while unpleasant, does not diminish our inherent worth. Our worth is not determined by the opinions or actions of others. It is an intrinsic quality that remains untouched regardless of external circumstances. This is a profound realization that can liberate us from the need for external validation. The emptiness of blame also extends to self-blame. Sometimes, when disrespected, we turn the blame inward, questioning our own actions, our own worthiness. This self-criticism can be even more damaging than external blame, eroding our self-esteem and perpetuating a cycle of self-doubt. The Buddhist path encourages self-compassion, recognizing that we are all imperfect beings navigating a complex world. Instead of blaming ourselves, we can approach our experiences with kindness and understanding, learning from them without judgment. To move beyond blame, we can practice cultivating a sense of radical responsibility for our own emotional state. This doesn't mean we are responsible for the disrespectful act itself, but we are responsible for how we choose to react to it. We can choose to dwell in anger and resentment, or we can choose to cultivate forgiveness, compassion, and equanimity. This choice is where our true power lies. Imagine a child who falls. They can lie there and cry, blaming the ground, or they can pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and continue playing. Similarly, when we encounter disrespect, we can choose to remain in the posture of blame, or we can choose to rise above it. Reclaiming our inner strength and resilience. The practice of mindfulness can be particularly helpful in recognizing the arising of blame. When we become aware of the urge to blame, we can pause, observe it without judgment, and then consciously choose a different path. We can redirect our energy towards self-care, towards cultivating positive emotions, and towards strengthening our inner resources. The emptiness of blame is a powerful truth that, when embraced, can transform our relationship with disrespect. It allows us to step out of the role of victim and into the role of empowered agent in our own lives. It is the realization that our peace and happiness are not dependent on the actions of others, but on our own capacity to cultivate inner freedom and resilience. This is the path to true liberation, a journey from the confines of blame to the boundless expanse of inner power and self-sovereignty. It is a testament to the profound wisdom that lies within each of us, waiting to be awakened and utilized for our highest good. By releasing the burden of blame, we open ourselves to a life of greater peace, understanding, and profound personal growth. The wisdom of non-engagement, choosing your battles wisely. In the face of disrespect, our conditioned response often compels us to engage, to defend our honor, to correct the perceived wrong. However, a profound teaching from the Buddhist tradition, particularly evident in Zen, is the wisdom of non-engagement. This is not a call to passivity or cowardice, but a strategic and conscious choice to withhold our energy from interactions that serve no constructive purpose. It is the understanding that not every battle is worth fighting, and some engagements only serve to perpetuate the very suffering we seek to avoid. Imagine a fire. If you add fuel to it, it will grow. If you withhold fuel, it will eventually die down. Disrespect, when met with reactive engagement, is like a fire being fed. Our arguments, our defenses, our attempts to explain or justify often become the very fuel that keeps the conflict burning. Non-engagement, in this context, is the act of withholding that fuel. It is a conscious decision to step back, to create space, and to allow the situation to unfold without our reactive participation. This requires immense self-awareness and discipline. Our ego often clamors for validation, for the last word, for the perceived victory. But true victory, from a Buddhist perspective, is the preservation of our inner peace. When we engage in a futile argument, even if we are right, we often sacrifice our tranquility. The wisdom of non-engagement also stems from the understanding that we cannot control others. We can only control ourselves. Attempting to force someone to understand, to apologize, or to change their behavior. Argument is often a fruitless endeavor. People change when they are ready, not when they are coerced. By choosing non-engagement, we release ourselves from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. This practice is not about ignoring the problem or allowing ourselves to be walked over. There are times when clear boundaries need to be set, when direct communication is necessary, or when we need to remove ourselves from a toxic environment. However, even in these instances, the approach can be rooted in non-reactivity, in a calm and clear assertion of our needs rather than an emotional outburst. The key is discernment, knowing when to engage and when to step back. This discernment comes from cultivating mindfulness and a deep understanding of our own motivations. Are we engaging out of a desire for true resolution, or out of a need to be right, to punish, or to prove a point? If it is the latter, then non-engagement is often the wiser path. Consider the story of the Buddha and the angry man. An angry man came to the Buddha and began to insult him. The Buddha listened patiently, and when the man finished, the Buddha asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man replied, "To the one who offered it." The Buddha then said, "Then I do not accept your insults." The simple story beautifully illustrates the power of non-engagement. By refusing to accept the gift of insult, the Buddha prevented the anger from taking root within him. He chose not to engage, and in doing so he disarmed the situation. The wisdom of non-engagement is a powerful tool for preserving our inner peace. It allows us to conserve our energy, to avoid unnecessary conflict, and maintain our composure in the face of provocation. It is a testament to the idea that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at. By choosing our battles wisely, by understanding when to step back and when to assert ourselves calmly, we cultivate a profound sense of inner strength and resilience. This is the path to true freedom, a freedom that is not dependent on the absence of conflict, but on our ability to navigate it with wisdom and grace. It is the understanding that our peace is not found in winning every argument, but in choosing to live in harmony with ourselves, regardless of the external noise. This is the profound liberation that comes from mastering the art of non-engagement, a skill that transforms potential conflict into an opportunity for profound inner growth and unwavering tranquility. The practice of detachment, observing the drama without becoming the actor. Detachment, in the Buddhist sense, is often misunderstood as indifference or a lack of caring. However, true detachment is far from it. It is the ability to observe life's unfolding drama, including instances of disrespect, without becoming fully entangled in its emotional currents. It is the wisdom to recognize that while we are participants in life, we don't have to be defined by every role we play or every interaction we encounter. When disrespect occurs, our natural tendency is to become the actor in the drama, to internalize the slight, to feel personally attacked, and to react from a place of wounded ego. Detachment invites us to step back, to become the observer, the witness to the unfolding scene. It's like watching a play. You can appreciate the performance, understand the characters' motivations, and even feel empathy for their struggles, but you know it's not your reality. You are not the character on stage. This practice is crucial because it creates a vital psychological distance between ourselves and the perceived affront. Without this distance, we are easily swept away by the emotional storm, losing our perspective and our inner peace. Detachment allows us to acknowledge the reality of the disrespectful act without allowing it to penetrate our core being. It's about having a strong sense of self that is not easily shaken by external events. This doesn't mean we don't feel emotions. Detachment is not about suppressing feelings, but about not being controlled by them. We can feel the anger, the hurt, the frustration, but we don't allow these emotions to dictate our actions or consume our minds. We observe them, understand their transient nature, and then let them pass, much like clouds drifting across the sky. The practice of detachment is deeply rooted in the understanding of impermanence and non-self. When we realize that everything is constantly changing, and that our sense of a fixed, permanent self is an illusion, it becomes easier to let go of our attachment to outcomes, to opinions, and even to our own emotional states. We understand that clinging to anything, whether it's a positive experience or a negative one, inevitably leading to suffering. Furthermore, Detachment allows us to see the situation with greater clarity. When we are emotionally entangled, our perception becomes clouded by our biases, our fears, and our desires. Stepping back allows us to gain a broader perspective, to see the situation from multiple angles, and to respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. This can lead to more effective and compassionate solutions, rather than perpetuating a cycle of conflict. Consider the example of a surgeon performing a delicate operation. They must be fully engaged and focused, but also detached enough to remain calm and objective even in the face of unexpected complications. Their emotional state cannot interfere with their ability to make precise decisions. Similarly, in life, especially when dealing with challenging interactions, a degree of detachment allows us to operate with greater skill and effectiveness. The practice of detachment is a continuous process of cultivating inner freedom. It involves regularly checking in with ourselves, asking, "Am I becoming too entangled in this? Can I create some space here?" It's about consciously choosing to observe rather than to react, to witness rather than to become the victim. By mastering the art of detachment, we transform our relationship with disrespect. No longer has the power to define us or to disrupt our inner peace. We become resilient, capable of navigating the complexities of human interaction with grace and equanimity. This is the profound liberation that comes from understanding that while we are in the world, we don't have to be of the world in a way that causes us suffering. It is the ultimate expression of inner sovereignty, a state where our peace is not dependent on external validation, but on the unwavering strength of our own mindful presence. This is the culmination of the transformative power of forgiveness and letting go, leading us to a state of profound inner peace and unshakable resilience. The power of self-care, nurturing your inner sanctuary. In the journey of navigating disrespect and cultivating inner peace, self-care often emerges as a critical yet frequently overlooked component. It is not a luxury but a fundamental necessity, an act of profound self-respect that equips us to face life's challenges with strength and grace. When we are confronted with disrespect, our emotional and mental reserves can be significantly depleted. Without conscious self-care, we risk burnout, increased vulnerability to stress, and a diminished capacity to respond effectively. The Buddhist perspective on self-care is deeply intertwined with the concept of compassion, not just for others but for ourselves. Just as a gardener tends to a delicate plant, providing it with water, sunlight, and nourishment, we must tend to our inner sanctuary. This involves recognizing our own needs, honoring our boundaries, and actively engaging in practices that replenish our energy and soothe our spirit. Self-care is not selfish. It is an act of self-preservation that ultimately benefits everyone around us. When our cup is full, we have more to offer. When we are depleted, we have little to give. This is particularly true when dealing with the emotional toll of disrespect. If we are constantly giving our energy away to external conflicts or internal rumination, we leave ourselves vulnerable. Practical self-care can take many forms, and it is highly personal. It might involve dedicating time to mindfulness meditation, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment and return to a state of calm. Could be engaging in physical activity, which releases tension and boosts mood. Spending time in nature, pursuing creative hobbies, connecting with supportive friends and family, or simply ensuring adequate rest and nutrition are all vital components of nurturing our inner sanctuary. The key is intentionality. Self-care is not something that happens by accident. It requires conscious effort and prioritization. It means making a commitment to ourselves, recognizing that our well-being is a non-negotiable foundation for a fulfilling life. When we consistently practice self-care, we build a reservoir of inner resilience. This resilience acts as a buffer against the inevitable slings and arrows of life, including disrespect. We become less reactive, more grounded, and better equipped to respond to challenges from a place of strength rather than weakness. It allows us to maintain our equanimity even when external circumstances are turbulent. Furthermore, self-care reinforces the understanding that our worth is intrinsic and not dependent on external validation. By actively nurturing ourselves, we send a powerful message to our subconscious that we are worthy of love, respect, and peace. Internal validation is far more potent than any external affirmation and makes us less susceptible to the negative impact of others' opinions or actions. In essence, self-care is a continuous act of self-love, a daily reaffirmation of our commitment to our own well-being. It is the foundation upon which all other practices for handling disrespect, non-attachment, forgiveness, and equanimity can truly flourish. By nurturing our inner sanctuary, we create an unshakable foundation of peace and strength, transforming our capacity to navigate the complexities of life with grace, wisdom, and an enduring sense of inner harmony. This is the profound truth. When we take care of ourselves, we empower ourselves to transform our world, one moment of mindful self-compassion at a time. The ripple effect of kindness, choosing love over hatred. In the face of disrespect, the natural human inclination can be to respond in kind, to meet hostility with hostility, or to withdraw in bitterness. However, the Buddhist path offers a profound and transformative alternative, the conscious choice to cultivate kindness and compassion, even towards those who have caused us pain. This is not a naive or passive approach, but a powerful act of agency that can break cycles of negativity and create a ripple effect of positive change. The teaching of metta or loving kindness is central to this practice. It involves extending benevolent wishes not only to ourselves and those we love, but also to neutral individuals, difficult people, and ultimately to all beings. When we are disrespected, our immediate emotional response might be anger or resentment. But if we pause and consciously choose to cultivate metta, we begin to shift our internal landscape. This doesn't mean we condone the disrespectful behavior, but that we refuse to allow it to poison our own hearts. Choosing love over hatred is an act of self-preservation. Holding on to hatred is like grasping a hot coal, it burns the one who holds it. By releasing hatred and cultivating kindness, we free ourselves from its corrosive effects. This is not about being a doormat, it's about recognizing that our inner peace is too valuable to be sacrificed to another's negativity. Furthermore, responding with kindness, or at least with non-reactivity, can often disarm the aggressor. When our expected reaction of anger or defensiveness is not met, the other person's energy has nowhere to land. It can disrupt their pattern and sometimes even lead to a moment of reflection on their part. This is the essence of the ripple effect. A single act of kindness, or even just the absence of a negative reaction, can subtly shift the energy of an interaction. This practice requires immense courage and inner strength. It's easy to be kind to those who are kind to us. The true test of our spiritual development lies in our ability to extend kindness and understanding to those who are difficult, challenging, or even hurtful. This is where the transformative power of Buddhist teachings truly shines. It's about recognizing the shared humanity in everyone, even those who seem to have lost their way. It's about understanding that often disrespect stems from their own suffering, their own unresolved pain. When we can see this, our capacity for compassion expands, and our desire to retaliate diminishes. The ripple effect of kindness extends beyond the immediate interaction. When we choose love over hatred, we contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious world. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, sends out positive energy that can influence others, inspiring them to respond in kind. This is how we build a better society, one interaction at a time. This doesn't mean we should tolerate abuse or allow ourselves to be exploited. Setting healthy boundaries is an essential part of self-care and self-respect. But even when setting boundaries, we can do so from a place of calm assertion and kindness rather than anger or aggression. The power of choosing love over hatred lies in its ability to transform not only our own internal state but also the dynamics of our relationships and the world around us. It is a testament to the profound truth that our inner state has a direct impact on our external reality. By consciously cultivating kindness, we become agents of positive change, transforming moments of disrespect into opportunities for growth, understanding, and the expansion of compassion. This is the ultimate expression of our humanity, a path that leads to profound inner peace and a more harmonious existence for all. The alchemical power of perspective, finding the lesson in the insult. Every experience in life, no matter how challenging or unpleasant, holds the potential for growth and learning. This is a central tenet of many spiritual traditions, including Buddhism. When we are faced with disrespect, our initial reaction is often to see it as a purely negative event, an attack on our well-being. However, with a shift in perspective, we can begin to see these moments as opportunities for profound self-discovery and inner transformation. This is the alchemical power of perspective, the ability to transmute the lead of a perceived insult into the gold of wisdom. This doesn't mean we should seek out disrespect or enjoy it when it happens. It simply means that when it does occur, we can choose to look for the lesson hidden within it. Perhaps the disrespectful comment triggered a deep-seated insecurity that we were previously unaware of. This is an opportunity to explore that insecurity, to understand its roots, and to begin the process of healing. Perhaps the situation revealed a weakness in our ability to set healthy boundaries. This is a chance to practice asserting ourselves with clarity and confidence. Or perhaps the experience highlighted our attachment to external validation, our need for others to see us in a certain way. This is an invitation to cultivate a stronger sense of self-worth that is not dependent on the opinions of others. The practice of finding the lesson in the insult requires a willingness to be introspective and honest with ourselves. It means asking questions like, what is this experience teaching me? What part of me is being triggered? How can I use this to grow stronger and more resilient? This is not about blaming ourselves for the disrespect, but about taking responsibility for our own growth and learning. It is about recognizing that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control how we choose to interpret and respond to them. This shift in perspective can be incredibly empowering. It moves us from the position of a passive victim to an active participant in our own evolution. We are no longer at the mercy of external events. We are co-creators of our own reality, capable of finding meaning and purpose even in the most challenging of circumstances. This alchemical process is not always easy. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to sit with discomfort. But the rewards are immense. When we can consistently find the lesson in the insult, we develop a profound sense of resilience. We become less afraid of criticism, less attached to praise, and more grounded in our own inner wisdom. We begin to see every interaction, even the difficult ones, as an opportunity to practice our values, to strengthen our character, and to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world. This is the essence of spiritual growth. The ability to transform suffering into wisdom, to find light in the darkness, and to use every experience as a stepping stone on the path to greater self-realization. By embracing the alchemical power of perspective, we unlock a profound source of inner strength and resilience, turning the inevitable challenges of life into fuel for our own transformation. This is the ultimate victory over disrespect. Not in winning the argument, but in winning a deeper understanding of ourselves and a more profound connection to our own inner wisdom. The path of mindfulness, living in the present moment, unburdened by the past. Mindfulness, a practice deeply rooted in Buddhist tradition, is perhaps the most potent tool for navigating the complexities of disrespect and cultivating lasting inner peace. It is the conscious cultivation of present moment awareness, observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. When we are disrespected, our minds often race, replaying the event, anticipating future confrontations, or dwelling on past hurts. This mental time travel pulls us away from the only reality we truly possess, the present moment. The path of mindfulness invites us to anchor ourselves in the here and now, to experience life as it unfolds, unburdened by the weight of the past or the anxieties of the future. This is not to say that we ignore our emotions or pretend that disrespect doesn't hurt. On the contrary, mindfulness allows us to fully acknowledge and experience our feelings without being overwhelmed by them. When anger arises, we observe it. Anger is present. We don't suppress it, nor do we fuel it. We simply witness its arising, its duration, and its eventual passing, understanding that all phenomena are impermanent. This act of non-judgmental observation creates a vital space between the stimulus and our reaction, a space where we can choose our response rather than being driven by automatic impulses. Imagine a turbulent river. Without mindfulness, we are like a small boat caught in its rapids, tossed about by every current. With mindfulness, we learn to observe the river from the shore, recognizing its power but not being swept away by it. We can then choose when and how to enter the water, or whether to enter it at all. This metaphor highlights the power of mindful presence. It allows us to engage with life's challenges from a place of calm and clarity, rather than reactivity. The practice of mindfulness also helps us to recognize the illusory nature of the ego and its attachment to external validation. When we are fully present, we realize that our worth is not dependent on the opinions of others. Our inherent value is always there, untouched by external praise or criticism. This understanding liberates us from the constant need for approval and makes us less susceptible to the sting of disrespect. Furthermore, mindfulness cultivates a deep sense of gratitude for the simple blessings of life. When we are fully present, we notice the warmth of the sun, the sound of birdsong, the taste of our food. These small moments of joy, often overlooked in our hurried lives, become sources of profound contentment. This shift in focus from what is lacking to what is abundant can significantly reduce the impact of negative experiences, including disrespect. Living mindfully means consciously choosing to engage with each moment rather than allowing life to pass us by in a blur of distraction and reactivity. Means bringing a sense of curiosity and openness to every experience, even the challenging ones. It means cultivating a deep connection with our inner wisdom, which is always present, waiting to be accessed. The path of mindfulness is a continuous journey, a daily commitment to returning to the present moment again and again. Requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to embrace both the pleasant and unpleasant aspects of our experience. But the rewards are immeasurable, a profound sense of inner peace, an unshakable resilience in the face of adversity, and a deeper appreciation for the preciousness of life. By embracing mindfulness, we transform our relationship with disrespect. It ceases to be a source of suffering and becomes an opportunity to deepen our practice, to strengthen our inner resolve, and to live a life of greater awareness, freedom, and joy. This is the ultimate liberation, a life lived fully in the present, unburdened by the echoes of the past or the anxieties of the future. It is the path to true and lasting inner peace, a peace that radiates outwards, transforming not only our own lives but also the world around us. The call to action: integrating wisdom into daily life. We have explored the profound wisdom of Buddhist teachings as a guide for navigating disrespect, from deconstructing the ego's grip and practicing mindful observation to embracing forgiveness, letting go, and cultivating equanimity. We've delved into the power of self-care, the ripple effect of kindness, the alchemical power of perspective, and the transformative path of mindfulness. But knowledge alone is not enough. True transformation comes from integrating these insights into our daily lives, from actively practicing these principles until they become an inherent part of who we are. This is the call to action, to move beyond intellectual understanding and embark on a journey of consistent, compassionate application. The first step in this integration is awareness. Begin by noticing your reactions when disrespect arises. Do you feel a surge of anger, a tightening in your chest, a desire to retaliate? Simply observe these sensations without judgment. This mindful awareness is the foundation upon which all other practices are built. Without it, we remain on autopilot, driven by conditioned responses. Next, choose one principle to focus on each day or week. Perhaps you start with mindful observation. When a challenging interaction occurs, consciously pause before reacting. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what is truly happening here? What is my ego's role in this? Can I simply witness this moment without judgment? Even a few seconds of mindful pause can create a world of difference, allowing you to choose a response that aligns with your highest self rather than being swept away by reactive impulses. Practice forgiveness not as a grand gesture but in small daily acts. Forgive the driver who cuts you off, the colleague who makes a thoughtless comment, or even yourself for past mistakes. Act of forgiveness, no matter how small, strengthens your capacity for compassion and liberates you from the burden of resentment. Cultivate equanimity by recognizing the impermanence of all things. When praise comes, enjoy it but don't cling to it. When criticism comes, acknowledge it but don't let it define you. Understand that both are fleeting, like clouds passing in the sky. Your inner peace is not dependent on external validation. Embrace self-care as a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Just as you nourish your body with food, nourish your mind and spirit with practices that bring you peace and joy. This might be meditation, spending time in nature, engaging in creative pursuits, or simply allowing yourself moments of quiet reflection. A well-nourished inner sanctuary is your greatest defense against the slings and arrows of life. Remember the ripple effect of kindness. Even in the face of disrespect, choose to respond with understanding, or at least with non-reactivity. Your calm and compassionate presence can disarm negativity and subtly shift the energy of an interaction. You are not responsible for others' actions, but you are responsible for your own response, and that response has the power to transform. Finally, continuously seek the lesson in every experience. When disrespect arises, ask, what is this teaching me about myself? What opportunity for growth does this present? This perspective transforms challenges into stepping stones, allowing you to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient with each passing day. This journey of integration is not about achieving perfection, but about consistent, compassionate effort. There will be days when you falter, when old patterns re-emerge. In those moments, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge the slip, learn from it, and gently guide yourself back to the path. The true measure of our progress is not in never falling, but in how quickly and gracefully we rise again. The ultimate call to action is to live a life rooted in these principles, to embody the wisdom of non-attachment, forgiveness, compassion, and mindfulness. By doing so, you will not only transform your relationship with disrespect, but you will also cultivate an unshakable inner peace that radiates outwards, influencing your relationships, your community, and ultimately the world. This is the profound promise of the Buddhist path, a life of liberation, resilience, and boundless compassion, a life where disrespect loses its power, and your inner light shines ever brighter. Embrace this journey and witness the profound transformation that unfolds within and around you. This is your moment to reclaim your power, to choose peace, and to live a life of profound purpose and unwavering tranquility.